Hi, I'm Abby McHugh-Griffa, Executive Director of the Climate Solutions Accelerator, with some positive climate news to share with you today. I'm really starting to see that our movement is building strength, momentum, starting to see some concrete wins that are the product of many years of effort and advocacy on the part of many, many people. So this is exciting. And the main thing I'm talking about here is, of course, the launch of the Rochester Community Power Program. That is the City of Rochester's Community Choice Aggregation Program. And for those who've been familiar with our organization for a while, you will know that this community choice aggregation idea was brought to the Rochester area in large part by Sue Hughes Smith, one of our founders, who formed a team of volunteers under the umbrella of our organization who were out educating the public, educating municipal leaders about CCA for many, many years. They formed a small business called Rocktricity, and now finally, again, all the fruits of their labor are really starting to pay off. And CCA, from our perspective, is a great example of a systemic climate solution because it makes it easier for people to access clean energy. And so it makes it literally the default option. Is a community choice aggregation program perfect? No, it is not perfect. Is it going to solve all of our problems? No, it is not. But it is a really meaningful step in the right direction. And I will say, we are starting to see also some misinformation spreading about it. And, people who are just hearing about it for the first time may have some various concerns, some more well-founded than others. And so for those who are familiar with CCA, just want to, put in the good word that you're going to need to keep up your advocacy, right? Keep up the work on educating because there are a lot of people who haven't heard about it yet. And for those who are hearing about it for the first time, please know that the Rocktricity folks are available to answer your questions. They will answer the phone if you call. They are having public information sessions. There are a lot of good ways to get information about this. There was also a great show on connections the other day. So if you're hearing things about CCA that you find concerning, please take the time to get educated because there's a fair amount of nuance to it. No climate solution is going to be just like straightforward, good or bad. And, there's things you need to know to be an informed customer. But from our organization's perspective, this is a really great step in the right direction. And we are excited to see Rocktricity and the progress that they're making in our community. So another example of building momentum is the work that Connected Communities is doing in the Beechwood Neighborhood. They have a group of resident advisors who are partnering with our Heat Smart Monroe staff person, Matt Corona, to get out, knock on doors in the Beechwood neighborhood, set up tables to educate local residents about heat pumps, about energy efficiencies, again, help them get into these programs to make it easier for them to access clean energy. And we're really just thrilled to be partnering with them and excited about the progress there and want to thank them for the work that they're doing. Another big thank you goes out to Joe Morelli and RTS. You may have seen in the news. Joe Morelli has been working hard in Congress to bring home the funding for, specifically in this case, electric bus charging infrastructure. And so looks like about $800,000 is going to be headed RTS's way to build the facility that they need. Actually, I should say, first step, design the facility and get the environmental review done. It's actually going to take quite a bit more money than that to actually build the facility. But RTS has already committed to having a zero emissions fleet by 2035. They already have a number of electric buses and expect more to come in this coming year. So they got to build out the charging infrastructure. I've spoken to their lead engineer, and clearly it is an extremely complex and tricky project. So appreciate the work they're doing, appreciate the work that Joe Morelli and his staff to provide the funding for this. And, the other local politicians who we really see stepping up, taking climate issues seriously, advocating for real action, real funding, warms my heart. Also, the New York Youth Climate Leaders. Many of the young people involved in that are from Rochester. And they are having a rally in Albany on, I believe it's August 6th. There will be a bus going from Rochester. So, the work that these young people are doing is literally, they're fighting for their future, right? This is a very existential threat for their generation. And so it is important from an intergenerational justice perspective that those of us who've been on the planet a little longer and created more carbon emissions during our time here, that we step up and support them. So August 6th, New York Youth Climate Leaders Rally in Albany, again, led largely by youth from right here in the Rochester area. We will be sharing information about how to sign up to participate in that via our social media, via our newsletter, and really, really, really encourage people to step up and support these young people and make the trip to Albany to be there with them. And lastly, our Color Your Community Green teams are we've got a number of them up and running now, and they are about to release their first ever Color Your Community Green Network newsletter, which has a little bit about what's going on in Irondequoit, a little about what's going on in the South Wedge, a little about what's going on in Henrietta, all these different communities that have teams already set up. And I saw the draft today. It was exciting. They're just doing such great work. And if you would like to receive that newsletter, you can sign up for that via our newsletter. We'll also, I should say our website, sorry. We will share information out about it in various different ways. So you can be plugged into what all those teams are doing in their municipalities, and then maybe start thinking about, if you live somewhere else, how you could get involved in your own town and set up a Color Your Community Green team. So again, really exciting work. So many people doing so many good things, and it all works together at the end of the day, right? We're not siloed here and there, and we're creating this cohesive climate movement. We're all striving towards the same goals. We might have slightly different tactics for doing so, but ultimately we're working towards the same things. And I really, really deeply appreciate everyone who's getting engaged and involved. So thank you so much for your time, and I hope we have more good climate news to share in the coming weeks and months. Take care.